Okay, welcome everyone. This is our conversation for installment 13.
I don't,
90 to 100.
Christina.
And welcome to everybody who's here and who will be looking at this video later. Zonia, you saying something?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bill Heller. I'm out in Hemet, California. That's in the southeast part of California. And it's my joy to come in and join you folks. I've been involved with the Course of Love for about 5 years and in a number of other groups, as well as some Course in Miracles groups. And I was pleased to receive the Journey to the Unknown about 3 months ago and just read chapter 100 today and learned about these classes afterwards when I went and explored, learned more about Richard. So I'm here to look, here to accept and share, see what we have to offer amongst one another.
That's great.
Have I seen you before with John Mundy's activities?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, and Rick is here too. So Rick, I'm sorry, I forgot to hand it over to you.
Okay.
And that's great, Bill. Go ahead, Rick.
Hi, everybody. Hope
Hi,
you're having
Rick.
a good week. Mine's been a little hairy as a school teacher on the computer. So welcome, everybody. Welcome, Bill, Kevin, Lorraine, Judy. So nice to see you, Christina. Always great to see you. You look great in orange, by the way. Kevin, Zonia, John, Irene, Miguel. Sonia, did you have anything that you want to say?
I don't have no one in my screen. I don't see no one. I'm black, yeah.
But
I only see myself.
You do have the subtitles, right?
Yes, I do. But I don't see no one of you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't know what to do.
I know.
I only see my face.
I know on my screen I have something called view. There's a speaker view and a gallery view. Do you have that?
Yeah, gallery. Yeah. Speaker view, okay. Mute. Show video screen. A participant. Maybe I'll close and come back. Okay?
All right.
I leave a spare. I want to see leave and then I come back, yeah?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have our last 100 chapters of the first part of this book. It stopped in April, and I did not know for sure that it was going to start back up again. But then 2 months later it did in June. And then we got another 90 short chapters. And then it stopped entirely. The book's finished. It stopped in around the middle of August of this year. So, and of course I have a message to share with all of you as well that we received on Sunday. But I think for right now, while we're waiting for Zonia, maybe we'll just open it up and anyone can share. Here she is. Is that better for you, Zonia?
She's waving, so.
Can see us.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy
Looks like
morning.
we're all set. Good morning to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Happy morning. I'm very happy to be in the group.
We love having you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah. I feel a lot of shit happening in me. Yeah. I'm reading to the book, buying the book about Jesus telling in the last chapters about the Paul Selig. I ordered a book from the Amazon. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. They all speak the same, but different way of speaking, but all is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Sonia, are you
That
talking about
is what I
Sonia?
Yeah, that is what I got before I got a call. I already picked up that all the people who write in those books are speaking the same, but in different ways. And I thought maybe it's my imagination.
No.
But no. And now I see it, yes, all speak, but in different one that is in different level. I find that very fascinating because it's happening in me a lot of shit inside me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah.
So
I'm ready, 100% ready. Yeah.
Sonia, are you talking about
Even to be relocated.
Are you talking about
Are you
the
talking
book?
about the
Book? You said you bought a book.
that the truth is the same, but given in different way, different words, but it's the same meaning. Yeah.
What's the title of the book?
From Rick Greyhouse. Rick Greyhouse today said, Jesus say,
Okay,
we
so
speak the same principle, but in different way. You understand? You pick up?
Yeah, that's how I feel, that
what I
it's
mean.
all the same information, just in different ways.
Yeah. And I find that very fascinating because mankind, everyone is in different level of understanding. Yeah. No one is left behind.
No.
In that sense, yeah. I love this one.
What you're saying is so true, Sonia. It's true for the Bible. It's true for A Course in Miracles. It's true for A Course of Love. And it's true for A Journey into the Unknown. And it will be true for whatever comes after this too. So truth is truth. It doesn't change. The voice changes, the language changes, but that's it.
Yeah. And there are people who don't like to read, but they watch at you. They look at you. You become like an open book for them. Yeah, that's true.
Christina's voice is so beautiful and alluring. It's so nice to hear it. So, and you're right, a lot of people don't like to read, but they will listen. So.
Yeah. And that person that I was helping, I have written in the internet, is asking for a call to her. And his sister is going to make a photocopy and give it to him. And he's really ready. I didn't know. He's so open. He wants to share. Yeah, on time. That was the calling for me to act was perfect. If I wouldn't have helped him, or he would have got schizophrenia, mentally sick. He was on the verge of getting mentally sick. And that help made him see that he really loved it, is accepted. I liked him. His mother is touched, his sister too is touched. Yeah, making a ripple. Yeah. My grandniece too are contacting me. Yeah. I like it. Yeah.
Very good.
And now I bought the book from Paul Selig. Paul Selig about love and creation. And there is one book for free in the internet. Those books for free are very blessing for mankind. because a lot of people don't have money to buy a book. Don't have money to buy a book, no, in my country, yeah. I still find a book for free, they download in the mobile cellular immediately. That's where those free books are a blessing, yeah. Yeah, I'm happy for that, yeah. Yeah, thank you, Rick. Thank you, Rick. Yeah.
No, you're
Thank you
so
very
welcome.
much.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Zonia. How's everybody else doing? Does anybody want to share your thoughts about these last 10 chapters that we
Anybody
got this
want to
week?
say- yeah.
Bill, I'm curious to know what you have, your response about your experience.
I didn't catch the first part, Christina.
Trying to get Bill to unmute and tell us about his experience.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Bill.
Well, Rick, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for your openness and bringing this together as you are. And Kevin, I'm assuming Kevin is your partner. That's correct, right?
No, well, I have a husband, but he's not involved in any of this. He's an atheist.
Okay. All right.
Kevin's across the water. I'm in California.
Okay.
Kevin's
All right.
over there in England.
Yeah.
Unless you guys are up to something secret that we don't know about.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait till later chapters.
Okay.
Can you guys see how red I'm turning?
Oh, so Bill, how did you come
No,
across?
we're not.
Bill, I'm curious about how you came across a journey into the unknown.
Well, I've continuously been impressed. I feel like the writing, I so appreciate seeing the connection to A Course in Miracles and A Course of Love. It's interesting to touch on the different manners, the different means of quote unquote corrections to perceptions about A Course in Miracles that have been alluded to, that I appreciate as well. I'm usually reading these lessons about 4:30 in the morning out here because it's just before I'm getting on another Course of Love call. But I'm encouraged, I'm excited. I am also very curious about the things to come that have been alluded to along the way, about many changes that are being spoken of through you at this point, Rick, that was not as I feel like the previous two books have been more about our inner journey, our inner work, and our discovery, and us being able to build this means of sharing in unity amongst all who want to join us or all who are involved in this. And ultimately, seeing the ability to be able to bring this to our day by blessing others, by sending love to others, whoever we see. And so, freshly having read 98 and 99 and 100, there's an interesting little finality there at the end of 100, at least for that point. I was wondering if this was the end. And I guess I'm hearing something different from you at this point. But it was sure, as far as I'm concerned, I've got plenty to work with from the first 100. Gone through them one time. I've started to go through the earlier material earlier, and including much of this in my Course of Love and Course in Miracles classes as well. So I'm speaking more to those that I've been integrating or holding on to over the last couple of weeks. For instance, how simple it is to recognize the Holy Spirit, our soul, and our true self are synonyms. That just moved me so much to hear that, and to simplify this for others who have been studying other material by sharing lines such as that. So new to the process, and very encouraged and very enthusiastic. I was glad to hear about this, timely hearing about it this morning, so I could join us this afternoon. I don't really have anything more specific to offer right now, except those general statements. And don't be surprised if I may have some observations or comments that come up as others share as well. So
That's great.
thank you. And
Yes, I'm glad you're
for
here.
having this. Blessings.
Thank you for joining us, Bill.
I'm very glad you're here. Can I ask a question, Bill?
Yes.
Have you signed up on the website for the newsletter?
No, I haven't.
I suggest you do, because that's how you get to know about new installments and stuff like that. I mean, right now I'm still, transcribing and
Okay.
but yeah.
Will
And
do.
Rick, I know you said it was the end, but you just don't know. We're walking into the unknown. Who knows what's going to happen, huh?
Mhm. And real briefly, I'd like to just say hello, Miguel.
Yes, Miguel.
I'm used to running into Miguel at other sessions, and have been in a couple of his sessions on Tuesday night. It's great to see you here. Great to see your presence. Thanks. I'm complete.
Yeah, and I wanted to ask Miguel to share, because Miguel, you came to a few at the very beginning of our time together. This must be, I guess this is our 14th.
Yeah.
conversation.
Hello,
So,
Christina.
yeah, that is, how are you
Hello,
doing?
and I'm
journey.
wonderful. And Bill, yeah, thank you, and Rick, thank you so much. The reason I couldn't join because of my job. By the time I get out of school and everything, it doesn't work for me, even 5 o'clock. But today I didn't have to go to school, so that's why I joined, and it's
That's great.
perfect. So,
It's great.
so thank you very much. I'm very excited, and I've been reading. I just finished reading the last installment, and all I can say is I'm happy and excited and ready to go. That's what I can say. So I'm complete.
That's great. That's great, Miguel. It's good to have you here.
So great to have you, Miguel.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. I'm very touched. Thank you.
How are you doing, Judy?
Who, me? I'm good. I'm good. I know the very last chapter, I thought, yeah, into the wild blue yonder. Here we go. It's kind of, that last little chapter was kind of a send-off. But like you said, it really isn't the end of it. And I knew that from what you said last week, so I wasn't too surprised. I realized it wasn't the final. I enjoyed getting these. I do want to, chapter 99, paragraph 4, it says, I'll read it so that everybody is aware of what I'm talking about. There is truth in literal interpretation of A Course in Miracles if you are on this side of the goldfish bowl looking in. If you are in the inside, this just isn't helpful. Let's bring the truth to the inside from the inside. From those who know what it's like being on the inside and who are relatable to others on the inside. I had to read it a number of times to figure out maybe what it meant. And I guess what it is we've been in the inside of that fishbowl. We're now on the outside looking in. And I guess it's asking us, because we've been on the inside, to converse, to talk to the people that we can relate to on the inside, and maybe give them new information from the outside. And I think it kind of goes hand in hand with some of the corrections of the literal interpretations of A Course in Miracles, things like that. Let me know if I have that all wrong.
You know, from my perspective, if that's what you have gotten from it, I think that's wonderful. What I got from it is that, you know, like a spirit being like Jesus could be looking at our world from a different vantage point and say, you know, it's all illusion and it's not real. But for us, you know, it's very real. And because we're here doing it and living it. And so for us to have the same perspective, the spiritual perspective, but to be presenting it as, you know, as other people to all the people that are here. So to me, that's what it means to be in the fishbowl is, you know, we live here and so we know what it's like. And so, and we know that there's purpose in it. It's like a big school and we learn lessons here and we grow here and we learn to love and to share love here. And so for me, that's what it's like to be in the goldfish bowl rather than not here at all from some other realm looking in on it. It's a different perspective than we have because we live here and we know what it's like here and we know very well what it's like because we live in the fishbowl. But I like the way that you interpreted it too. So both ways work.
Okay.
And I agree with both of you because it's like, for me, it's a both and. It's what we're asked to do is to be in the world as a human being and to be a Christ as a spiritual being at the very same time, seamlessly. And that's what the elevated self-reform is. And you know, we're all taking baby steps towards that. But for me, as we grow and mature, we don't leave behind the experience of where we were. It just expands, you know, and ripens. And so we know what it's like and we can move in and out of that seamlessly. It's like, you know, we're here and constant movement and we can be in any place and use any language. Yeah, so both of you, I would say I agree with both of you and kind of put it all together. You know, I love that. It took me a while too, Judy. I think I read it several times over, you know, yeah. And then I found that great photograph. Goldfish bowl.
Yeah, it was perfect. I had to read it 2 or 3 times as well, and I saw it as you did, Judy, at first, and then I was discussing that passage with my daughter, Angela, has been listening, and now she's started reading the lessons, but. Out of that discussion, what I came away with that, you know, the literal interpretation, you know, when we were in that separated mind and trying to unwind the mind, it worked for us then. But now we're asked to work from the inside of a place of knowing. A place of knowing, and literal anything, that's what happened with the Bible, isn't the ultimate truth or the ultimate way for us to be. We can see it differently, and because we are working now out of a place of knowing, it's an inside job, right? So we bring truth to the inside, from the inside. Those who are on inside really, and those of us that have had that experience, that deep knowing of being, you are one. You feel the connection, you feel the oneness, and we can know from our knowing what's literal and what's not. We're working from the inside, and those of us that are inside, working out of it, recognize that. We can recognize what's literal and what's not. So it was another way that we had interpreted it. I think, I don't know if we want to leave this question, but I do have a sharing that happened to me this week, and I look at all of these 3 volumes. They're so beautiful, all of them, each with their message. And we have come from that separated mind and had to undo that separated thinking into the art of thought, the way God thinks. So we've done that, and we had to come to that place of peace and stillness. I think I mentioned this, so that we could go to the place of knowing, going to the place of knowing. And now we're asked to be almost revolutionaries. We're asked to be spreading who we are, the truth of who we are, in a whole new way, and in the unknown, kind of, because it's not been done before. It's unprecedented what we're being asked to do here. So that chapter that everybody mentions, where we learned that Holy Spirit, the truth of who we are, and soul are interchangeable, I think it was mind-blowing for most of us, because what I see, and I could almost highlight how many times the word soul, I mean, not almost, you could highlight it and see that many, many, many times we're referring to everything. People or persons are referred to soul. So I had this experience this week. I was looking out my window and I saw a train of school children. They couldn't have been more than grade 1. And they were snaking around a road that came from the west, turned to the south, and then across the street to the east to the park. And they were single file, 4 to 6 feet apart, social distancing. It's a school field trip. And there's mothers and feminine teachers. And I watched this little train and I started crying, and I wasn't sure why. Usually I can feel something in the heart that's very profound. I'm very touched. But the crying became sobs, and I was just sobbing and sobbing. And I thought, okay, maybe it's the divine feminine. Maybe it's the mother and child that you're trying to show me, whatever. But anyway, the little train disappeared, and I went on with my day. And the next morning, after my meditation and prayer, I do about an hour of that before I even get out of bed, and say, okay, another day, here we go. What do you want? What's up today? What do you want me to do today? And it was just keep smiling, keep loving, keep blessing. Right? But at that same time that those words came through, an image of the train came back, and I could see a woman with a long cape, only the back. It was Mary, in my mind's eye. And she said, that was us. That was a train of souls. And now what I'm finding, this journey coming from that separated mind, is we need to see the content. We have to remove the identity, that personal identity in the body, and see that content, which is talked about in the Course in Miracles. That's who we are. That's the divine essence, the love and the content. So this week I have really been practicing when I see someone that there's a soul, and I've got my magic white wand of light and blessing, right? But it's not easy to flip and not see that body and see the identity. I have to be conscious. I'll catch myself. No, that's another sweet soul. That's a lovely soul. And when I can see the soul, when I can see the content, it's so much easier to extend the love. We have a person that we're praying for that has COVID, who I don't necessarily agree with, but when I can remove the personality, I can remove what I might judge as lack of purpose or not, I can pray for that soul. So much easier. That's my brother. That's a soul. That's content. So I was blown away with the image, and then it all made sense. It just all made sense. But that experience happened to me, and what I am sensing and feeling as we go further and further, like I said, into the journey of the soul. Things are falling away. Even my agenda for the day, I have a certain, I could be maybe regimental. I won't say rigid, because I have an expectation. Yes, I'm going to get my exercise done. The day's going to unfold this way. Well, that is totally gone. I can stare out the window for 10 minutes and just be still, and I'm in heaven, right? And it doesn't matter what happens. It doesn't matter if my daughter walked in just before this, and that was okay. Like, there's no time frame, or whatever shows up for me is what is in front of me to deal with in that moment. And so to live in that moment, there's just so much falling away that our limitations, expectations, conditions, right? So anyway, share that. And it's been that, it's, I guess, trying to make you see the progression of the journey for me and where I am at this moment in time, more into the soul, the essence of the soul, the essence of our being. And if I don't even remember the words, it's not I have to study and remember all this stuff. I listen to it, but I have to be, and I have to love, and I have to bless, and I have to hold in love and light. Not that we're not going to be challenged and tested. It said, get ready and put your thick skin on. So I pray to the cadre of souls every day, just keep me strong, give me the courage. You've called me. Let's go. We can do this. We got it. So thank you for listening to me. I bless you all, and I love you all.
So Lorraine, you're on the inside of the fishbowl, and you know what it's like here, and you know very well, and so you're able to do your work as Christ here under these conditions. So thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter what anybody thinks or doesn't think. It just doesn't matter. I hope I can be so committed and dedicated that that's all that matters, to be a servant of love and light and be Christ's representative as Mary and as Jesus, as the journey tells us. That's the ultimate reality.
Could I say something?
I can say, yeah, sorry.
Hi, Irene. Go ahead.
Yeah, I can say about the bowl. Yeah, when I was reading the bowl, I read a few times and I got it. And that makes me remember when I was first joining the group in 2017, I started to see the difference. The group from people post that made a post, I started to see something is not fitting. I started to see disagreement from asking people from to occult people. I saw that they're interpreting it, the word of Jesus, literally, like they do in the church. I said, oh my God, I don't want that. I'm happy that I didn't join a sin group because I went away from that type of getting the word. I wanted to leave the group too because I saw a lot of backbiting among, I don't know who are they. It's not important to tell, only what I got it. I said to myself, where I am going? In that group from the call, there are people who are getting from within. I will stay. And that is what Jesus said, to get from inside to the inside. And when we get literally, that's how we found religion.
Yeah. Thank you, Zonia.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
Yeah. And I understand very well what Jesus said about the bowl. To get from the inside. And that is how religion is. They interpret everything literal from the outside. I have enough from this one. That's why the system, the system is staying here. And when I read all those passages about this in your book, I feel like I'm connected. I understand what Jesus is telling us. I'm happy I've stayed. I'm happy to be here because there are people who get it from the inside, and that is what Jesus wants. A soul, to see a soul inside, the content that is inside.
I think it's a very effective, teaching strategy to have Christs all over the place, helping people here in the fishbowl. Bring spiritual information to people here in this world. So thank you for sharing.
And that's just by being examples.
Yeah.
And being an everyday, every minute example, which sounds very simple. The blessing sounds very simple, but to actually do it, all the time, every minute is a full-time commitment, So yeah, Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, on the blessing, I came to Ireland about a week ago, and I was struggling for various reasons, and I had a lot of stuff coming up, and I was struggling with gratitude and blessing myself. But what came up as a surprise for me was I'm in a small place called Rossgray in Tipperary, and that day when I was struggling, I eventually went down into the town, and everyone I met or I bumped into, whether it was in a store, across the street, so many people, it just caught me by surprise. Was I realized at some point towards the end of that day that I was very touched by everyone I met. They didn't know me, but it was just the person in the store. It was just the contact with all the people in the village. There wasn't a single person. I mean, there were strangers, but there was a deep feeling of gratitude for the blessing that they gave me. Yet I had struggled with it myself. I really struggled with blessing myself. But what did help as well during the week was, and I'm one of these people with, struggle sometimes with doing all the reading, but I'm grateful that you sent through the link to the 40 days thing as well, because I started listening to that, and there was some practical help in there in terms of helping me see what this, a lot of this stuff that was coming up, that it was kind of interfering with the present, and there was some practical exercising that came through that really started me looking at this new earth, this future, and what I'm doing, because there's a big struggle with me. I'm not working, and everything's scary like everybody else, but I'm going into this unknown. The work I was doing before was a love-hate relationship with it, and but the thing that kind of also came up was the fact that I was looking at what I was doing recently, and I've been doing body work, getting up in the morning, getting fit, really connecting to the body. But also I was, over the last few months, I had done some courses connected with NVC, nonviolent communication and mediation, and setting up new systems to work with, and I took these out of interest. There's no career goal or anything, but I was just, something tickled me, the fact that I'm doing things that I feel are the way I want to collaborate with the new earth that is coming through. But again, a lot of my sticky stuff has been coming up here in Ireland, and the questions that came through on this, are you willing to let your light shine through? Yes. Are you as the there were some other questions on there that kind of came through, that they're asking something of me, and there's work to be done, particularly around holding my stuff. But and if I can remember one of the questions, there was another one key on there. Bear me a second. Yeah, are you willing? Are you ready to bring truth to the inside? Will you implement Spirit's plan by being, serving, or both? yes, I'm moving in that direction. I feel it's a bit scary because I have no idea what the form will look like or what I'm doing. Really, you know, everything is like everybody else is.
I don't think any of us do.
Yeah, I have a clue, and yeah, and it's trying to. So, I think the blessing thing contain is yeah. Which I hear what you're saying is still. I'm getting there, but yeah, those two, the reading this and what you sent through, I'm really grateful for because they helped my mind was a bit shaky, you know.
Mm-hmm. And I think it, you know, Jenny is very, I love how it says blessing everyone. And if your heart prompts, more, take action. So it is a both and. I mean, I really, you'll hear me use that phrase. It is really a both and thing, you know, being the example, be doing, you know, seeing the souls the way Lorraine described so beautifully, and also seeing the human. It's like see the human and see beyond and through. I just love that. And you know, I just want to say, the thing about Journey and Tina Spalding's channelings of the 40 days of, you know, 40 days and 40 nights. I'm just so excited that finally, after all these years, I mean, maybe 5, 6, 7, longer, maybe 10 years, I've been exploring all these new age, I call them woo-woo sites, and hearing all about the new earth and all kinds of things. And now those words and information and sentiments are showing up in, you know, Course in Miracles teachers and, you know, Course of Love continuation in a journey. I just love how it's all converging. It was only about 3 years ago that these new age woo-woo places began using the word Christ consciousness. You know, it was always about ascension and, you know, things like that. The earth is ascended, we're all ascending, but now it's all Christ consciousness. That the language and the meaning is all coming together. Just so exciting for me. I don't feel so crazy anymore. I used to be very careful about what I shared. Very careful what I shared on the Course of Love website. Anyway, I'm done. Thank you.
That's beautiful, Christine. That speaks to your point, Rick, about Christ being is everywhere. Is everywhere doing the work in that unique expression that's being expressed at that time, and who the soul is that's expressing it. So it's all different and all the same. It's converging. So beautiful. I'm excited too, Christina.
So Irene, you were wanting to say something earlier?
Yes, well, I too had a problem with the fishbowl and read it a number of times and listened to you and so forth. But I want to thank everybody. I want to thank everybody who spoke today of their understanding of it, because that was most helpful. I just want to say one other thing that came to mind. This is to Kevin. I told this story once before, but I think it would be good to hear it again maybe. It was something I heard about 40 years ago. It was a story of a young man in a supermarket parking lot picking up carts, and he passed a woman, and I believe this was a true story, but anyhow, and he passed a woman coming towards him, a shopper, and who looked just down in the dumps, just horrible. And he said under his breath when he passed her, he said, "God bless you." And she turned around to him and she said, "Young man, I don't know what you said, but thank you." And I want to say that today, because as we're all sending a blessing to the other person, they're getting it. And I think we don't know that. We don't think that they you know, we just think, well, we're doing something useful for ourselves by sending a blessing. But if you could imagine, and certainly we all could imagine, that they're receiving it, whether they know it or not. And whether they know enough to respond, you know, somebody just blessed me, probably not, but they're receiving it too.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that we know that. So it may be more reason to do it.
Yes, beautiful.
That was it. So that was for you, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you. That's beautiful.
When you're blessing all these people,
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah.
It's
And it
giving
was
and
just- it was
receiving
just-
as one. There's no
and it was,
difference,
you
right?
know, yeah. And I realized that the fact that I could contact that feeling of blessing that I was within myself.
Right.
But you know, and I remember hearing this expression a while ago about how you touch is how you're touched. You know, and it's kind of something that I'm, you know, trying to soften into and become. You know, gentleness is still a quality that needs. You know, I'm still, you know, vigilant for gentleness in my interactions.
Well, we get to keep what we give as well. You know,
Mm.
whatever we give to another person, we get to keep. Some years ago, it came to me, and I said this before too. It's like, you know, when everything we do in duplicate, and we keep the original and we give the copy. So
I love that.
all
I
of
love it. Yeah.
all of the good that we do or say or think for another person, we get to keep as well.
That's beautiful. I love that.
I just want to come back to the gentleness, Kevin, also, because that's been a hard one for me. Growing up in the world where it's been not so gentle, you know, for everyone, but also personally in many, many different ways for decades. What I found that, in fact, the gentleness needs to start with me. I can only be as gentle with other people as I am with myself. And I'm realizing it's a two-way street. As I'm more gentle with others, I'm more gentle with myself. As I'm more gentle with myself, I can be more gentle with others. And that's really been quite an eye-opener for me, to quit bullying myself into go, do, get things done, but just relax into knowing that, you know, everything is perfect the way it is right now, and listening for their help. And Journey has been really helpful from that perspective, you know, cementing that in a practical way.
Yes, I absolutely hear you on that. You know, I still, it's, you know, it's in a desire to really just cultivate that gentleness and work with it. Really, it is a need in me to cultivate this, and it's still tough. There's some softening still that I'm working on, you know.
Well, everyone, we do have a message. If you'd like, now it's 2:53. I'll show you your message, our message, and if I have everybody's email address. If you would like me to email this to you, and you know I don't have your email address, if you could please put it in the chat, and I will send it this afternoon, California time, to you. So I'll share the screen, and this came on Sunday. And Sunday, October 4th, 2020, 1:18 p.m. May I introduce myself to you. I am Mother Mary, the source of love and inspiration. I'll read it slowly so the closed captioning can stay caught up. My love is in companionship and cooperation with Jesus's love. And together, we form a complete circle of God's love manifested. We work with those who ask for our help and insight. In doing so, we spread our joy throughout the earth. You may be following in my footsteps, or in Jesus's, or in both ways. It is because you each know the truth about your identity that you can now be free to express Christ's consciousness. You are each as important and as valuable to our social movement as I am or as Jesus is. You are me and I am you. We aim to bless and spread love throughout the land. Okay. Our souls are united in purpose, and there really is only one purpose, which is to express love unconditionally. You are my children, sharing with my children. Together we are one. Thank you for allowing me to give this message to you each. It pleases me so to see the work that you have done on yourselves and are now doing for the benefit of all. With love and admiration, Mother Mary, your sister in Christ. P.S. Keep up the good work and let me know when and where I can be of assistance. Your prayers to me are heard and responded to. We are one in this together. And the end time was 1:37. So thank you, everyone. Again, if I don't have your email, please put it in the chat real quick. And I will make sure to send it to you.
Wow,
Thank you.
that's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bill,
Rick.
is there... Oh, I
Go
see.
ahead.
Oh, you're so welcome. So I've got Bill's address here. Miguel, did you want to put your address in the chat real quick? Okay.
I can give
Rick, I'm on the phone, so I don't know how to do that.
I
don't
can
see
Oh, I
send
see.
it to Rick.
Oh,
I-
okay, okay.
Yeah.
I can send you
It's okay.
Miguel's email
Yeah,
address.
yeah, thank you, Christina. And thank you, Rick, and thank you, everyone. I feel just very happy, and that's what I feel about everything.
I'm glad you came, Miguel.
Oh, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for what you do.
I feel like
Wonderful time.
Thanks.
what we just received from Mary affirms what we heard from A Course of Love relative to Mary and her relationship with us. So that is so sweet. Thank you.
Mhm. Mhm.
Thank you, Rick. And thank you everyone for having this circle.
And we also have Mari's new book, which is going to be out very, very soon. She's been receiving from Mother Mary and dialogue with Mother Mary for almost 2 years now, actually, to be honest. It began. It's called Mirari, The Way of the Marys, and it's real close. Had a chance to read the whole thing on Saturday for final review, and Mari is very excited to get that out, to hear Mother Mary's voice. And it's a beautiful voice, just like what Rick has heard, you know, a very gentle, compassionate, loving, encouraging, but also got some tough love in there, there is some tough love. So I'm excited for everyone to have access to that very soon.
Mm.
A lot of exciting stuff landing on the planet. The veils are so thin. It's like everything's coming through at once because it's time for us to get off our asses and do the work, you know, be the arms and legs and the example that is needed on the planet as divine human beings. It's so exciting.
Have a great week on the fishbowl, everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Lovely.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Love you.
Bye,
Bless
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Blessings. Bye now.
Bye.